been a Jekyll and Hyde type season thus far for the UMD men. Tonight, hoping for more good than bad as the Dogs open a two-game NCHC series against the visiting Omaha Mavericks. Good evening, hockey fans, and welcome inside Amsoil Arena and our My9 Sports broadcast booth. I am Zach Schneider. We are without tonight the services of my usual game analyst, former UMD captain Judd Medic. He will be here tomorrow for the series finale. UMD comes into this weekend series 500 on the year. 5 wins, 5 losses. Last weekend, the Dogs were on the road to open up conference play against Colorado College. A 5-0 loss on Friday was low-lighted, you could say, by a 4-goal first period for the Tigers. The Dogs then bounced back on Saturday to get a 3-1 win, salvaging 3 points from that weekend series on the road. But again, consistency was the word of the week for players and coaches as they talk about turning in a 60-minute effort night in and night out, what has become the hallmark of this Bulldogs program. They'll try to do that for the first of 2 games here tonight against Omaha. The Mavericks bring with them the leading goal scorer in the country. He is senior Jack Randall. They're coming off a loss and a shootout win at home against North Dakota. Randall leads the nation this year with 11 goals. He only had 14 in his career coming into this season. 4 of those 11 are on the power play. 2 of them are game winners. So know where number 28 in black is all night tonight. He is very dangerous with the puck on his stick for the Mavs. On the UMD side, sophomore Dominic James leads the way this season for the Bulldogs. He's got 6 total points, 3 goals, 3 assists. He's shown bits and pieces this year, that game-breaking ability. He can take over an entire game if he's on. Plus, he's been UMD's best guy in the faceoff circle, winning close to 58% of his draws to this point. Starting goaltenders tonight, senior Jake Kaharski goes for Omaha. He is a transfer from AIC, a Carolina Hurricanes draft pick. He stopped 74 of 81 shots last weekend against North Dakota. And for UMD, Matt Thiessen will be making his 2nd straight start for the Bulldogs. The transfer from Maine made 19 saves in last Saturday's win over CC. He's a Vancouver Canucks draft pick. Thiessen so far has made the most of his opportunities here at UMD. He will look to continue on that track here against Omaha. All right, now let's turn our attention to tonight's Kohler keys to the game. First for the visitors, start quick. You saw last Friday night what can happen to UMD if the Dogs fall behind early. Omaha will want to test that theory here tonight. It's not been the Mavericks' strong suit. Of 30 goals they've scored this year, just 4 have come in the opening 20 minutes. Also, play a physical brand of hockey. Scott Sandlin this week compared the style that Omaha plays to that of Minnesota State Mankato, which swept UMD earlier this season. If you can force mistakes, you can score goals in this league. Look for Omaha to use some of its big bodies to make the Dogs uncomfortable, especially in their own zone here tonight. And for UMD, the keys to the game, players and coaches both attributed Saturday's success last weekend to being tougher to play against around the net, both offensively and defensively. You have to go to the hard areas in this league. Captain Tanner Latterroot said this will be a series for which UMD has to, quote, bring its lunch pail. Blue-collar hockey wins games. That's what they'll try to play tonight. Next, keep things within reach. A couple times this season, things have snowballed for the Bulldogs. 1 mistake becomes 2 mistakes, becomes 3, and all of a sudden you're in a hole you can't climb out of. Mistakes will happen, but don't let things spiral tonight if you're UMD and you do happen to fall behind early. It is Veterans Day, and it is Military Appreciation Night here at Amsoil Arena. The Minnesota Warriors played a game in this building earlier this afternoon. They and their spouses are displaying the flag here ahead of the national anthem, and UMD also hosting around 50 families of the 148th Fighter Wing. So to all of you who are serving or who have served our country, thank you so much. We hope you enjoy the game. We're going to take a break, bring you back for Drop the Puck, the Bulldogs and the Mavericks, right after this on My9 Sports. Very touching national anthem here at Amsoil Arena on Veterans Day and Military Appreciation Day. Again, that flag being presented tonight by the Minnesota Warriors. group of disabled veterans get together to play hockey. They played a game in this building against a team from the Iron Range earlier this afternoon. We'll be on hand, obviously, to take in the game tonight between UMD and Omaha, along with around 50 or so families from the 148th Fighter Wing located here in Duluth. Blue line to blue line, that American flag went. I don't know if I've seen one that big on a hockey rink. I've seen them on football fields, but pretty cool deal here to start this Friday night game between UMD and Omaha. Tonight's game being brought to you with the proud support of Essentia Health and Kohler Chevrolet Buick GMC. We appreciate their support of these broadcasts all season long. As the flag and the Minnesota Warriors and their spouses leave the ice, let's take a look at the starting lineups tonight for our two teams. First, for the visitors, the Omaha Mavericks. We mentioned Jack Randall on that top line. They've also got Jake Pavanka, a transfer from Notre Dame, and Taylor Weiss, one of their grad students, fifth-year seniors. Johnny Tykonik, Victor Mancini, the top defensive pair. Nolan Sullivan, their captain. He's a big, bullish presence down the middle of the ice. Again, look for them to play a very physical game this weekend against UMD. For the Bulldogs, that lineup looks a little bit different, as it has from night to night, week to week so far this season. Isaac Howard, the freshman, up on the top line with Dominic James and Quinn Olson. Blake Biondi moves from that spot to be on a wing with Jesse Jacques and the captain, Tanner Latterup. The defensive pairings largely the same. Wyatt Kaiser, Aiden Dubinsky, Derek Daschke, Owen Gallatin, the top two pairs for UMD. You'll see a lot of them. And Cole Spicer, a forward, the extra skater tonight for UMD. They had been going with 7D for most of this season, but tonight, 13 forwards for UMD. Jake Kaharski, Matt Thiessen, the starting goaltenders, both transfers this year. Kaharski comes to Omaha from American International. Thiessen came to UMD from Maine. Only the fourth start of the year for UMD for Thiessen, but he has made the most of every opportunity. He came on in relief last Friday night after UMD and Zach Stacekall allowed those 4 early goals. Thiessen allowed just 1 the rest of the way in that 5-0 loss, and made the 19 saves on Saturday to backstop a 3-1 win, which was tied until the closing minutes. Owen Gallatin just threw a puck toward the front of the net to score the eventual game winner. Blake Biondi iced it later on with a full ice empty netter. And that is how we get here to Friday night, UMD and Omaha. Thanks so much for joining us from wherever you are. Here we go from Amsoil Arena. Glenn wraps it around to the far side. Tykonik down the boards, as Omaha's D will be very active tonight. We'll talk about that. They get up in the play on the rush, and they also like to collapse the zone offensively. Could lead to some chances for UMD. Howard tried to stick handle past Mancini. It went off the end boards, now back out into the circle. Cleared away by Omaha. Glenn through center ice. Howard back checking, takes it away right in front of the UMD bench. And both teams will change as James controls for the Bulldogs. Long shot, that hit shin guards as he tried to get it in from the blue line. Now does on the second effort, does Dominic James. Biondi throws a hit in the corner. High sticking here as UMD plays the puck. That's Owen Gallatin. It was called on the Mavericks, so we continue on. Now Krenzen, the Duluth native, a long shot from the near point. That's cleared out by the Bulldogs, and back to get it is Omaha. Krenzen, near side corner to Weiss up the wall. Low height, steps up on Pavanka right at the Omaha defensive line. And now it's UMD's captain, Latterup, who gives it back to Gallatin, then heads off on a change. Nolan Krenzen, the Duluth Marshall grad, playing in his hometown. We'll talk more about him as the game goes on. A puck into the Omaha bench, and we'll step aside for this message from our sponsors.
Choose Ogston's Body and Paint when your car needs repairs.
Face-off just outside the Omaha zone. Neither team with a shot so far. Very territorial opening 90 seconds. Neither team really has had possession in the offensive zone so far. Sullivan whacks it out to center ice. UMD controls. Bednarchuk tried a headman pass, fanned on it. And now Sullivan and Miller almost were able to jump on him, but now it's low height the other way for UMD. Cuts to the middle, some space, and Kaharski makes a good save, his first of the night. Now it's Miller in a foot race with Bednarchuk. Miller tried to lift the stick of the UMD freshman. Nice body position there by Bednarchuk. UMD able to clear the puck out to center ice. They wave off the icing as Krenzen in the near side corner back to play it. Gavin now, bothered by Smith. Jack Smith injured at the start of the season, but has been pretty good. He's played all 4 games since his return. Moves to the middle now. He's going to play center on that fourth line between Milmock and Bettens. Gavin takes a hit from Bettens. Takeaway from Smith. Centering pass intended for Milmock. They can't clear. Comes back to Kaiser at the point. Long shot. That hit bodies in front. Deflects to the near side circle. Bettens throws a hit there on Miller, who's trying to protect the puck. Slipik takes a hit from Bettens. What a good shift here from the UMD freshman Kyle Bettens. Kaiser to Smith, the shot, and Kaharski makes the save. What a good shift from number 24 in white, Kyle Bettens. Let's go down between the benches. Matt Halverson is there. Matt.
Yeah, Zach, we kind of saw a little bit right there when the offense has been clicking for UMD. It's been working. They're outscoring their opponents 17-8 in games they win. That makes a lot of sense. But when they have not won, it's been pretty steep the other way, as we can see. Outscored 21-3, and those losses been pretty much one way or the other this season. As for Omaha, kind of the opposite. And there are 4 losses this season. 3 of them have come by just 1 goal. UMD looking to play some consistent hockey this weekend, Zach.
Yeah, it's been the good, the bad, and the ugly so far for UMD through 10 games. Now Howard out near the line tries to jump on a turnover there. Couldn't really get a clean look at the puck, and now the other way. This is Berg, a long shot. Thiessen makes his first stop of the night for UMD. Back to the point, Mancini and Berg. Hands off, this is Mancini. Weaves his way through the UMD zone, still controls into the corner. Tried to go to the far side, come back to the point. Tyconic to the middle, stick save Thiessen, and Olsen will clear it away from trouble for UMD. Well, after a fairly pedestrian first 90 seconds, the next 90 seconds filled with action. Some chances for UMD in the last shift, and now Omaha with its first real offensive pressure of the hockey game. 4 minutes gone, still scoreless. Shots 2-1 in favor of UMD. Weiss has the puck taken away by Latterroot, who's got it now again at center. Gives it to Jacques. He's got Biondi with him. Jacques, a centering pass that was deflected away nicely by, I believe that was Davis Pennington. Pavanka comes through neutral. Bouncing puck at center ice. Biondi couldn't get it past Pennington again. Back out to center ice, Randall. Puck into the Omaha bench. And we'll get a face-off here at center ice. Good first 4.5 minutes for both these teams. Still early in this NCHC season, of course. Long way left to go, not just in the conference season, but also trying to get into that national tournament. A lot of hockey left to be played. But these two teams certainly both feel they haven't played their best game to this point in the year. LeMay takes a big hit behind the net, broke his stick, actually just dropped it. Now he picks it back up. That was low height for UMD. So we talked in the pregame about Omaha wanting to play that style and get in on the forecheck. So far it's been UMD, the aggressors with the physical play. 5 minutes gone. There's a big hit at the far side, thrown by Caden Bolson. So far UMD very much on the toes of their skates. Flipped out back to the Omaha side of the ice. This is Gavin back to collect it for the Mavericks. He'll settle things down from behind his own goal. Ahead for the captain, this is Sullivan. Talked about him, he's one of the guys who can do just this, flip it in, and he'll go to work on the forecheck. throws a hit, dislodges the puck. The centering pass missed everybody, though, and back to his own zone is Johnny Tyconic, the transfer from North Dakota. Been with Omaha now a couple seasons. Now a grad student, fifth-year senior for the Mavericks. Bouncing puck right in the front of the UMD net, cleared away by Wyatt Kaiser. Kaiser this week called UMD's fiercest competitor by the head coach Scott Sandlin. A mainstay on their blue line. You'll see number 5 out there a lot. In every situation, really, Wyatt Kaiser is out there. And you really saw how much they value him when he was out of a game earlier this year against Wisconsin. Suspended for a high-sticking major in the game prior. UMD lost that game to the Badgers 3-0 on Saturday night. Kind of punctuated by the loss of basically their consensus #1 defenseman. Now Gallatin hard into the end wall. 6.5 minutes gone here in period #1. Digging it free, back to the point. Proctor wanted to line that one up. Now just sends it towards the middle. It bounced to the end wall. Gallatin goes hard there. Centering pass cleared away by UMD's James. This is Milmock. He recently returned from injury. Actually, this is his first game back. He didn't make the trip last weekend to Colorado College. Howard, 1-on-4 as he crosses the line. Gets some help from Biondi. Comes back now. Bodnar-Chuk, a long shot that missed the net. Off the bench was the freshman Riley Bodnar-Chuk. Now it's Pavanka ahead for Weiss. Cross-ice pass in the circle. A shot that missed the net. That was Randall. Always dangerous. 11 goals on the year, as we've talked about. Now Jacques tries to go off the wall out to center and does. It gets too far, though, and that is icing against UMD. With 12:40 to go, with a break in the action and no score yet in this game. Let me tell you, there is still time to play the Hoops Brewing Goal Challenge. Who will score first tonight for the Bulldogs? Text that player's name to 218-721-8880 for your chance to win a $25 gift card to Hoops Brewing in Canal Park. Weiss a shot. Thiessen makes the save, covers the rebound, and we will take a break. Still scoreless here, Bulldogs and Mavericks on My 9 Sports. Veterans Day Military Appreciation Night here at Amsoil Arena, not only hosting the Minnesota Warriors and the 148th Fighter Wing, but the men's and women's hockey players earlier this week wrote letters that will be sent to active duty military members in partnership with the American Red Cross. Anybody watching, of course, who is serving, has served, a family member who served, thank you so much for all you do for our country today and all days. The Military Appreciation Night, always a special one here at Amsoil Arena. Nearly 7.5 minutes gone, opening period. Shots 3-2 in favor of the visitors. Omaha, long shot tipped in front, that was wide. Cleared away to the corner by Jacques. His centering pass taken back by Pavanka. Now Jacques continues on that path. He's got it again through center ice. Olsen back to Jacques on the backhand. Couldn't slide one towards the net. Into the corner it goes. It's taken away by Pennington. He wraps it around to the near side boards. Good give and go passing play there by Olsen and Jacques for UMD. Almost created a chance. Now Mancini gives it back to Pavanka to the far side. Pennington, he'll start the charge. To the red line, he just sidestepped a check by Jacques. Dubinsky goes down in a heap behind the UMD goal. Kaiser tried to stick handle around Sullivan, lost the puck. He plays it in behind, this is Slipik. He spins away from Dubinsky behind the net. No one in front, though. He gives it to Sullivan in the corner. Comes up the wall, Proctor can't hold the zone. Back to collect it is Krenzen. Pace picking up here. More than 8 minutes gone in the opening period. After the first 2 or 3 minutes were kind of feel each other out time. Now it's go time for the Bulldogs and Mavericks as Omaha is offside at the line. Slipik in ahead of the play. And the faceoff will come back to center ice. Hibby native Scott Sandlin in his 23rd season as head coach of UMD. Of course, the 3 national titles, 6 Frozen Fours. And the part I mentioned at the top about the hallmark of UMD hockey, the consistency factor. That has been a lot of Scott Sandlin. You could call it the Scott Sandlin factor. His teams over the years have very much taken on their coach's identity. This year's Bulldogs yet to really grasp their identity through 10 games, hoping that this weekend series can be another step in the right direction. Is Scott Sandlin. Proctor up the wall at the defensive line, now played ahead. Mitchell floated one towards the middle, sticked away by Thiessen. Gallatin exits the zone with the puck on his stick. This is Spicer, gives it to Smith. The shot rising on the stick side, missed the net. Spicer out there for his first shift as the extra skater. We'll see how Sandlin and the coaching staff decides to deploy him, the 13th forward tonight. Again, normally they play with 7 defensemen in the lineup, but tonight they go with the extra forward. Olsen with some speed, tried to stick handle through Mancini. Tyconic back to help his partner. He took a hit for his trouble from Olsen, and now coming away with the puck is Cameron Berg. He flips it ahead. Glynn will beat out the icing for Omaha as we approach the halfway point of the period. Glynn spins away from Goetz, tried to play it behind the net. Bodnerchuk staples that Maverick to the wall, lost his stick. Now Glynn circles back towards the front, saved by Thiessen, deflected up and out of play with 10:01 to go here in period number 1. Mentioned Jack Randall leads the nation, 11 goals this season for the UNO senior. By contrast, tied for 59th in the nation is UMD's goal-scoring leader, freshman Ben Steeves. Still a lot of season left to be played, but UMD very much has a by committee approach so far this year to scoring goals. Steeves their goal leader with 4. James their points leader with just 6 so far this season. Kaiser wraps it in behind. This is Jacques. Tries to protect the puck against LeMay. Back to the point. Dubinsky, long shot. Blocked in front. Biondi tries to win a battle along the boards. Latterroot circles back on defense. He's got the puck now. Leaves it for Biondi at the blue line. Centering pass, hit a skate. Deflects in behind LeMay and Latterroot. Latterroot comes to Biondi, and a save made by Kaharski. A really good save on last year's goal-scoring leader, Blake Biondi for UMD. We'll step aside with the score still tied. 0-0 on My 9 Sports.
Veterans Day, of course, today, celebrating at Amsoil Arena. But another good thing that the UMD men's hockey team has going right now is their Movember campaign, of course, raising cancer awareness, men's cancer, men's health. Coming up the intermission break, we're going to talk with Will Francis, of course, a guy who's known that firsthand about his experiences and his battles, Zach.
Yeah, not only will you hear from Will Francis and Zach Stayskull at our in-between period features tonight to talk more about Hockey Fights Cancer Month and the Movember efforts, as a chance here for Miller is knocked away by Dashke. But you'll also hear from Luke Lohheit and Luke Milmock, the early clubhouse leaders in the Movember mustache competition in that UMD locker room. So stick around for that between periods. Matt Halverson will talk to both those guys as UMD is offside at the Omaha line with just under 9 minutes to go here in the opening period. Pretty good opening 10 minutes for both these teams. A couple good saves either way. Maybe the best chance goes to UMD. Got Blake Biondi one-timer just before we went to that last media timeout. Jesse Jacques had a good opportunity as well in that opening 10 minutes. Didn't even get a shot on net because he fanned on the backhander, but he and Quinn Olsen worked a pretty good give and go. Now Spicer cuts across the blue line. He and Pennington go into the far side corner. Pops free to Rollwagon. And now it's Mitchell, fourth line out there for Omaha. Mitchell and Bernardchuk into that far side. Bettens, big body freshman for UMD. They love the way that he plays. So far, he's had a good start to this game. Tyconic to the far side. Pennington, a long shot. That hit the stick of Jack Smith. Comes to Bettens now at center ice. Smith will tip it in. UMD will change all 5 of its skaters. Well, 4 of 5. Bettens stays out there on the forecheck for UMD. Now he'll head back as the Bulldogs control back to their own zone. Dubinsky has to chase a bit. Kaiser plays it ahead at the line. That's out of the reach of Olsen. Taken by Mancini. He missed the opening part of this season with injury. Back now for the Mavericks, and you'll see a lot of him. 23 and 20. His partner Johnny Tyconic. They play in pretty much every situation for the Mavericks as well. Flipped up the wall, but not out for UMD. Berg tried to come to the middle. Kirby Proctor steps up in the circle, a shot. And Thiessen makes a shoulder save, deflects it to the corner. Centering pass now comes to the circle, cleared away by Howard. And now James tried to get it to Howard at the blue line. It was defended well by Mancini. Berg ahead at the line. Mueller couldn't make a play to him off the bumper pass from the boards. Omaha changing, so Daschke will settle things down for UMD. Derek Daschke, the fifth-year transfer from Miami, played a lot of minutes for the Redhawks. He was the NCHC's time on ice leader last season. He slid right into a fairly prominent role for UMD as well, as Kaharski makes a save along the near side as Jacques again just threw a puck toward the middle of the ice. Gallatin, he scored last weekend's Saturday game winner. Long shot from Jacques, kicked away by Kaharski. Daschke into the corner now. On the backhand, looking for someone to center to. It comes off his stick, and Omaha will control. Miller in the skates of Gavin, but he gets it out of the zone to Weiss. UMD all over the Mavericks in the offensive zone. Latterud digs it free from Pavanka. Now Gallatin, cross ice for Latterud. So UMD doing a lot of what we thought we would see Omaha do, which is get pucks in and go to work offensively. Throw some of your body around, win some battles, create chances, and just kind of create chaos in that Omaha defensive zone. They've been able to do it so far, led to a couple pretty good chances, plus a couple good ones off the rush. So far, 14 minutes in for UMD. The shot's 4-3 in favor of Omaha. Bodnarchuk circles behind the net of Matt Thiessen. Now it's taken away. Sullivan off the skate. It comes to Miller, near side circle, walks right in. A save by Thiessen. The rebound comes free. Krenzen winds, doesn't fire, tips in front, they score. Nolan Sullivan, a tip in front, and Omaha strikes first. It's 1-0. Well, a turnover at the UMD line started all of this. The initial shot saved by Thiessen, and then Nolan Krenzen, a really heady play for Omaha. Knew he didn't have a shooting lane, so he shot that well wide looking for a tip, and he got one from the Omaha captain, Nolan Sullivan, his second goal of the year. And it's the Mavericks who strike first. Here in the opening period, it's 1-0. Milmock throws it in deep for UMD. Here's a test of one of our keys to the game for UMD. Too often this season, one goal has turned into 2-3 against for UMD. They've played a good opening 15 minutes here. Little unlucky to get scored on first. Can they continue on the same path they were on here in the game's first period? Kaiser to Smith, high slot, a shot. It's out there in front, the rebound in front, and Kaharski, I think, made a save. It deflected to the far side corner. Not sure what that got a piece of. It was Smith and Milmock battling in front for UMD. Now it's Berg. Has it poked away from him. Olsen on the attack now for the Bulldogs. He and Mancini. Mancini wins the race. Tyconic now along the end wall. Howard tries to jump him, takes the puck away. Howard behind the net, out in front, comes to Daschke. A shot and a blocker saved by Kaharski. Now Olsen battling. Goes down in the corner, it comes out to center ice. Berg 1-on-2 with Gallatin and Howard. Berg fights through the check out in front, and a save by Thiessen. That was Ty Mueller for Omaha. The game opening up a bit. Thiessen another save. Long shot that time from Cameron Berg. End to end we go here at Amsoil Arena. Long pass ahead, they'll wave off the icing as it went past Owen Gallatin. Tick past 4 minutes to go here in the opening period. Daschke to Gallatin. Tipped in by the captain Latterud. Pennington, he fell down, blew a tire. Biondi out in front, tried to play it through the crease and couldn't get it. Good stick by Jake Kaharski. Got the paddle down for Omaha. And that will be an icing on the Mavericks. The face-off coming back into the Omaha zone. We will step aside for a message from our sponsors.
Want to increase your brand awareness? Look no further than Soda Signs and Graphics. For their support of Bulldog Hockey.
Pretty good couple shifts after that conceded goal for UMD. Omaha also a couple chances to go up by 2. Though on the other side, a couple good saves there for the senior transfer Matt Thiessen. Now rink wide, Biondi finds Jacques at the line. Latterer going to the net. That shot was wide. It's kicked away anyway by Kaharski. It bounces right to the stick of Tyler Weiss. To the far side, Pavanka, mentioned he's a transfer from Notre Dame. Good get in the transfer portal for Omaha. A top-line center that plays a really heavy game, and he's added a lot to that top line with experience. 2 fifth-years and a senior on that top line for Omaha this year. Tipped in with 3 minutes to go in the first period. Shot towards the net. Miller has it bounce past him. Out to the line, this is Steves. He chips it in. Loney wins the battle in the corner, tried to move it up the wall to Bernardchuk. He steps down, has to pin himself against the boards to keep the puck in, and does. Miller continues on into the fight and is able to clear. Low height back to collect it for UMD. Steves now, he flips it ahead, low height. Had it knocked away from him. Mancini just pitchforks it around on the far side, out to center ice again. Dashke ahead for UMD, tipped by Steves, and the Bulldogs will go back to work. Kaharski wraps it around the high glass and out to center ice. That might get all the way down. It will not. We continue with 2 minutes to go in the opening period. Shots 9-8 now in favor of Omaha. They've got the game's only goal from their captain, Nolan Sullivan. Tyconic, nice move there, top of the far circle. That centering pass was knocked away by UMD, and it comes to Bettens, 3-on-2 as they cross the red line. Bettens will just flip it in. Milmock tries to deliver a hit behind the net. The puck comes free though. Now it's taken away by James to Milmock in the corner, back to James, and a shot swallowed up by the goaltender, Jake Kaharski. We will step away. It's 1-0 Omaha here on My 9 Sports. Inside, 90 seconds to go here. Face off to the right of Omaha's Jake Kaharski. As Amsoil Arena rises to its feet with the Veterans Day salute playing on the video board here. We will do more of that throughout the evening, I'm told by UMD staff. Plenty of time to honor not only the veterans here in attendance, but those across Bulldog country and across the country, no matter where you're watching. Thank you to those of you serving, those of you who have served, have a loved one, a family member who has served. Pretty special to have Military Appreciation Night fall on Veterans Day. And now the face-off in the Omaha zone. Top line out there for the Bulldogs. Kaiser sent one towards the front. It's tipped way up in the air. Falls behind the net of Kaharski. James picks it up there for the Bulldogs. Olsen, bumper pass back to James. Kind of caught him by surprise. Tried to go to the point. Dubinsky wasn't there. He backtracks to the neutral zone. James will shoot it in, and Howard and Olsen give chase, but Proctor's the first one there for the Mavericks. He wraps it around. It's out of the reach of Dubinsky, but he touched it. So we wave off the icing with 1 minute to go here in the opening 20 minutes. Back and forth action. Omaha the only goal though so far. Chipped out, tried to get it past Pavanka, did ladder route, he did not. To the near side now, this is Kaiser. Biondi off the glass and out to center ice. Mancini gives chase. Pennington to Weiss at center ice. Biondi hounding him, tried to take the puck away and does. Now he's in 1-on-3, turns the puck over, gets some support now though, and the puck's still free at that far side. Omaha will play it free. This is Randall through center ice, gives it to Weiss. They're onside at the line. Final 10 seconds now of this opening period. This is Pennington, and that is how the first period will come to a close. 1-0 Omaha leads UMD here after 20 minutes. Let's step aside for a quick message from one of our sponsors as the teams leave the ice.
Mainstream Fashions for Men has you covered with new fall fashions.
1-0 the score here. Nolan Sullivan, the only goal of the hockey game thus far. The Super One Foods intermission report starts right after this on My 9 Sports. 1-0 Omaha leads UMD here at Amsoil Arena after one period of play. Right now, UMD senior alternate captain Luke Lohheit is on the ice with our Matt Halverson.
Yeah, Luke, a good season for you so far. Good start, I thought, for you guys. You came out, you got physical there in that first shift, kind of got the students into it a little bit. Nice to have them back out here. What'd you think of that first frame?
Yeah, it was good. I thought we were physical, like you said. We had our fourth line going too. Bettens was playing physical, and that always helps when we get four lines rolling strong. So yeah, we just got to keep that going into the second frame. And obviously, the first one's tough to give up, but we'll come back.
This week, the captain Tanner talked about getting the hard hats out, getting over to the corners, getting to play some more physical hockey, getting dirty. How did you feel that went there in that first period? Do you agree with him there?
Yeah, for sure. I think that was what we did best in that first period. I think we got to keep working on that. That's our biggest weakness right now. We talked about we got to get harder to play against, and that first period was a good step in the right direction. So
definitely, and Luke, I'd be missing the boat here if I didn't ask you about the cause you got going on right now in Movember. You got the stash going. You said you've been working pretty hard on it.
Yeah. I as Betsy said in our video the other day, I've had this since about 6th or 7th grade, so it just kind of comes naturally for me. So it's been pretty easy, but no, it's a great cause, and we're having fun supporting that. And obviously with Zach last year, it means a lot to us. So to give back to that community, it's awesome.
You guys have raised a couple of $1,000s. It's been great. But as for tonight, good luck in the second period. Thanks for your time, Luke.
Yeah, thank you.
Couple $1,000. They had a great season last year, over $10,000. Zach, great cause and great guys down here.
Yeah, thanks very much, Matt. Luke Lohheit, Luke Milmock, Jesse Jacques has a pretty good stash going. Those guys have taken over as the champions of Movember. The Mo Bros, as they're calling themselves, they've taken over for the efforts of Ben Pat, who led that effort a year ago, the third-string goaltender for UMD. Pretty good period there for UMD, despite the goal against. I thought Luke said it best. They were pretty hard to play against. They threw their body around a little bit. It was a step in the right direction. But Scott Sandlin pretty pointed earlier this week, I should say, saying that, hey, there's some guys on our team that want this to be easy. It's not easy. It's hard to win in this league. It's hard to win when everybody wants to play their best against you, which they do against UMD, especially in the NCHC. So we'll see what the next 40 minutes bring for the Bulldogs here at Amsoil Arena. He mentioned Zach Stayskal and his battle with testicular cancer last season. Well, the Bulldogs also have their defenseman Will Francis, who battled and won against leukemia. He was able to ring the bell this past July at Children's Hospital. He's partnering with Sauce Hockey on these Built Bulldog Tough t-shirts. All proceeds will benefit the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. You can go on saucehockey.com to look for those Built Bulldog Tough t-shirts. Will Francis, another of these UMD players, along with Zach Stayskal, who already in their young lives have battled and won against cancer. You'll hear from Will Francis right after this on the Super One Foods intermission report here on My 9 Sports. Welcome back to Amsoil Arena ahead of the second period tonight for UMD and Omaha. There's a look at the stats through 20 minutes. The Mavericks leading 1-0. Shots are even at 9 apiece. Neither team has taken a penalty or gotten a power play so far in tonight's game. There you are caught up as we get ready for the second period, awaiting the teams to be back on the ice here at Amsoil Arena. Taking a look around the NCHC as now we're into the heart of conference play. Pop those scores up here for you in just a moment as the teams return to the ice here at Amsoil Arena. I can tell you that Denver and North Dakota are tied at 1. That one, I believe now after the first period, headed into the second there in Grand Forks. Miami and Colorado College tied at 1 in the third, and there's no score yet between Western Michigan and St. Cloud State. That one's still midway through the opening period. And here it is 1-0. Omaha leading UMD. Nolan Sullivan, the Omaha captain, with a tip-in goal. The Duluth native Nolan Krenzen got the assist on that goal, the primary assist. Jacob Slippick also got an assist on that goal. Nolan Krenzen, of course, the Duluth Marshall grad. His brother Lane plays at Denver. That is where we stand. Thanks so much for being with us here on a Friday night from Duluth. Tyconic rink wide as we start the second period. Thiessen fights that long shot off. Berg wraps it around to the far side. Mancini at the half wall now. That pass disrupted by Kaiser. He gives it to James with some speed through center ice. Has Olsen with him. Gives to Olsen. To Howard, a shot just missed. Low on the stick side of Kaharski. Omaha wanted a penalty there at center ice as Dubinsky impeded Berg. They're not going to get it. Pretty clean game so far. There really wasn't anything in that first period to speak of that I thought was even close to a missed call. These two teams just went toe-to-toe in a really entertaining opening period for this NCHC series. Thought it was good, not great for the home team, and now Biondi, a stretch pass, and that one flipped up on him, went off his heel. Missed the net by a mile, did Biondi, but the puck just wouldn't settle down for him. Good pass from behind the net. I think that was Gallatin who made that stretch pass for the Bulldogs. As I was saying, good, not great, I think, in that period for UMD. Great would have been obviously coming out of it with a lead. But it's Omaha that gets that opening goal. Good road period for the Mavericks. Withstood a really strong first 10 minutes from UMD and then just went to work themselves. Generated a lot of chances in front of Matthew Thiessen, and one of them got by on that redirect by Nolan Sullivan. Flipped out to center ice by Tyconic. Dashke plays it there for UMD. Jacques tips it in past Mancini. Biondi going to be the first one there. Gives it in the corner to Latterut. Tried to go back to Biondi behind the goal. To the point. Dashke, long shot. That was deflected into the corner boards. Now behind the net. Latterut and Biondi battle there. Biondi tried to wrap around. Directed to the corner. Now it's Dashke. Gallatin. Biondi up high in the zone. Long shot, tipped in front, they score! Jesse Jacques for UMD, and we're tied 1-1. Some confusion in front of the goal as Omaha will take a penalty. Here is a look at it. Biondi just threw one towards the front. It hits Jacques and deflects over Kaharski. And the confusion was a penalty being called at the same time. It's on Omaha. So the and one hockey rule applies, and UMD will be tied 1-1 and come out of it with the game's first power play. Jesse Jacques will get credit for the goal, his first of the year. And it comes in very similar fashion to Omaha's goal tonight. Biondi high in the zone, just throws one at the net. Watch it here as he comes past Gallatin. Doesn't have much. It hits Jacques in the waist area. And Latterut, battling for position in front, does just enough to disrupt the sight of Kaharski. And it's 1-1 for the time being. As Mike Gabnett, the Omaha coach, challenging for goaltender interference. So obviously they'll be looking at Tanner Latterut and his role in this goal. It hit Jacques in the waist area. I don't think it even hit his stick. So as we look at these replays again, we'll get them queued up for you and go back to look. We'll be looking at the top of the crease area. Does Tanner Latterut make any contact with the goaltender, Jake Kaharski. Let's take a look here. Out in front, there's Kaharski sliding that way. Latterroot is facing the other way as he battles for position in front. He does certainly make contact. It looks like it's initiated by Kaharski as he slides that way. The question is, does Latterroot's positioning and him standing there prohibit Kaharski from playing his position? There's a look at how the rule is written. Positioning or by contact impairs the goaltender's ability to defend the goal. We get our ruling now. It will count. Jacques with his first goal of the year, and we're tied 1-1 here early in the second period. So with that challenge, Mike Gabinet loses his timeout. Not the worst thing in the world, but could be notable as this game continues in the later stages. More notable is the penalty to Johnny Tykonik, as UMD not only tied now at 1, just over 90 seconds into this period, but will also go to the game's first power play. Tykonik was, I believe, the one battling with Latterroot in front, and that led to a lot of the confusion after the goal was scored because one of the officials in the corner had his arm raised. As we know now, he was calling the penalty on the Mavericks. So a lot of commotion around UMD's first goal of the game. And now a clock issue will delay us further as UMD gets set for the power play, trying to take its first lead of the game. They win the face-off. Top unit for UMD has Isaac Howard on the point along with Wyatt Kaiser. Biondi, he plays it in. Howard down from his spot on the blue line to forecheck here in the corner, and the puck up out of play. A face-off coming in the Omaha zone. This top unit has been, again, good, not great. Maybe for UMD is a good way to put it. Just over 20%, right in the middle of the national rankings for the power play. Really, timely goals is a lot what the power play needs, and this would be a huge one for UMD. To come out of the second period, get an early goal, and then score right away on the power play to take a one-goal lead. That's what UMD has done to its opponents through much of the past decade. When given the opportunity to score big goals, the Bulldogs have typically done it. Well, here's a big opportunity early in the second period for this year's Bulldogs. Krenzen digs it free for Omaha, and he will clear with already over 30 seconds gone in this man advantage for the Bulldogs. Kaiser through center ice, gives it to James. Centering pass for Olsen. He collects it into the corner. James now. Far side boards, pressured by a couple Mavericks. His pass for Olsen, now back to James. Centering pass for Biondi. Howard wanted it, didn't get it. Kaiser now gives it to Howard in the near circle. Couldn't handle the pass clean. Kaiser, though, will hold the zone momentarily. Glenn, a good play to clear for the Mavericks. 50 seconds to go in the Bulldogs' man advantage. Steves to Loney. Second unit out there now for UMD on this power play. Pennington tried to clear it out towards the blue line. It's held by Dashke. He just wraps it in behind the goal now. Loney had Lohite momentarily at the near side of the goal. Lohite picks it up now for the Bulldogs, battling in that corner along with Davis Pennington. Comes to the point, held by Gallatin. 15 seconds in the power play. To Steves in the circle, a shot. That was blocked by Pennington. Caught him in the hand, he dropped his glove. Gallatin to the far side, Dashke walks in. Delays, centering pass, maybe a shot. Turned aside by Kaharski. Got all the way through, he made the stick stop. We're back to 5-on-5, turnover now. This is Loney to Dashke, far side. Kaharski, the blocker save. Tykonik out of the box, he pins the ball, or pins the puck, rather to the far side boards. Mancini now Tries to chip it out. It's held by Lohite. A shot whistled wide on the stick side. Almost Karen back out in front. The Bulldogs are buzzing off that power play chance now. Pennington, he was stung by that shot earlier that he caught in the hand. Loney towards the front. Tipped by Gallatin and cleared to the far side by Berg. Milmock to Dashke. Long shot. Tipped in front. Banging at his ladder route. And Kaharski makes the save for Omaha. A couple good saves at the end of that power play chance and into the 5-on-5 for Jake Kaharski. We will step aside for this message from our sponsors.
Choose Ogston's Body and Paint when your car needs repairs.
The power play wasn't great for UMD, but the shift after the power play was great. It was fantastic. They cycled through almost a full line change in the Mavericks defensive zone. Kaharski made a couple great saves to keep this game knotted at 1. Now LeMay enters the zone. Randall centering pass, and the pad it went of Thiessen. Might have been looking to catch him on that far post, but Thiessen was sharp to that. Now it comes to LeMay. He sidesteps Latteru, walks right down Main Street, and Jocks, the goal scorer, slides across to make a block shot for the Bulldogs. Now Latteru the other way. Had Biondi going to the net, circles back. In behind the goal. Biondi wins that battle against 2 of the Mavericks. Comes away with it to the point. Long shot, tipped in front. It got through to Kaharski. Now Smith off the side of the outside post. Pavanka digs it free. The Bulldogs seem to be coming in waves to start this second period. Now a hand pass at center ice. We'll get a break in the action, and we will step away. Jesse Jacques, first of the year, has us tied at 1 here on My 9 Sports. Hoops Brewing is the place to be before, during, or after UMD men's and women's hockey games here at Amsoil Arena. Go enjoy some of the area's best locally crafted beer. Plenty of space, tons of games for both adults and for kids. Check out Hoops Brewing, an official watch site of UMD hockey. Face-off inside the UMD zone to the right of Matthew Thiessen. He and Jake Kaharski both have been sharp, and they're right off the face-off. Bolson fired one in that Thiessen turned aside for UMD. His numbers very good coming into the game were Matthew Thiessen's, and he's continued that strong start to the season here tonight. To the point now, Krenzen winds, doesn't fire. His shot blocked by Spicer, who closed the time and space. Into the corner, Rollwagon fighting for it behind the goal. Bolson comes out of that pack with it. High in the zone, he's shadowed by Goetz, leaves it there for Proctor. A penalty coming now to UMD as Goetz was tangled up in the neutral zone. Extra attacker out for Omaha. Through the slot area, now UMD touches up. And a penalty coming to Darian Goetz, holding the call, and Omaha will get its first power play of the hockey game, a chance to restore that 1-goal lead. Goetz had just followed Bolson up high in the zone. Got his arms wrapped around him. And he heads off for the hold. And we'll get a look at Omaha's power play. Top 20 unit so far in the nation. Close to 24% success rate. Mike Gabinet's team also always good on the power play. And this year's team, kind of like UMD's, no shortage of high-end talent for that top unit. Jack Randall kind of plays the Isaac Howard position on Omaha's power play. He's a forward who plays back on the point. They look to set him up for a lot of those one-timers. Kaiser tried to weave his way through center ice, had the puck knocked away. As good as a clear for UMD, as Tyconic will start 250 feet away. Now it's Weiss. He's dangerous on this unit as well for Omaha. He's cutting to the net and right through the top of the crease area, looking for the redirect. It comes to the point, held by Tyconic. Long shot, screen in front. Blocked by Thiessen and cleared by Loney out to center ice for UMD. He doubles back and now will send it in deep with 45 seconds gone on this Mavericks man advantage. Long pass ahead. Off the end wall, Randall, I think that one got blocked by Dashke. Might have got to Thiessen. It rolls to the far side. Latterud, a shorthanded chance maybe, as Jacques is with him in the offensive zone. 1 minute gone now in this power play for Omaha. Jacques, a spinning shot that was turned aside by Kaharski. He'll head to the bench. Will Jacques, as Pavanka and Tyconic regroup behind the goal for Omaha. Not much doing here for the Mavericks, as that'll be icing. Mueller's pass out of the reach of everybody. And the faceoff will come back in the Maverick zone. We will step aside briefly. This message from our sponsors.
Choose Ogston's Body and Paint when your car needs repairs.
Faceoff to the right of Kaharski after that icing on the power play for Omaha. They haven't really got set up in the UMD zone so far with this man advantage. A couple chances off the rush. Tyler Weiss, maybe the most notable of those. He went right to the top of the crease area, but really nothing other than that, as UMD's done a good job clogging up the neutral zone and then has dispossessed Omaha a couple times as they have gotten it across the blue line. Now a fumbled puck here at center ice by LeMay. Omaha has to turn back, and that will effectively do it for this penalty kill. Now Olsen a chance, has James going to the net, a shot, missed the net on the backhand. Those two just missed a shorthanded goal 2 weekends ago here when UMD hosted Cornell. They scored right as a penalty expired. They almost got another one. They're near the end of that penalty. Back to 5-on-5 we go. Dubinsky starts the charge for UMD. Olsen to the middle, it's Lowhite with some speed across the line, has it swept away by Pennington, but regains control into the far corner. Gavin works his way up the wall, reverses course. This is Pennington. He comes up the near boards. To the middle of the ice it goes. There's the Omaha goal scorer, their captain, Nolan Sullivan. He shoots it in. Thiessen out to play it for UMD. Moves it to the near side, up the wall. This is Steves at center ice. Tried to get around Pennington, who turns it right back the other way for Omaha. In on Thiessen, who covers for UMD. Tonight, Military Appreciation Night here at Amsoil Arena. Tomorrow night, the Teddy Bear Toss. If you're coming to the game tomorrow night, bring your teddy bears. You get to toss them on the ice at one of the intermissions. They'll be donated to area children in need during this holiday season. Always one of my favorite nights. I've already got a couple. Might go buy some more for tomorrow's annual Teddy Bear Toss here at Amsoil Arena. Not only some good hockey, but a couple of my favorite yearly events that the marketing team does here for the UMD hockey teams. Military Appreciation Night and Teddy Bear Toss, along with the Hockey Fights Cancer Movember campaigns. Lots going on here in the month of November at Amsoil Arena. Steves to the far side. Sullivan tried to throw a big hit. He missed. Those two go down in a heap at the far side. The puck back to the Mavericks side of the ice. Pennington to the far side. Mancini, long stretch pass, tipped in by Mueller. Rather, that was Mitchell. And now in the near side corner, this is Rollwagon. Back to the point it comes. Proctor walks to the middle, long shot. That missed high on the glove side of Thiessen. Steves picks it up on those boards. Retreats into the corner, now moves it ahead for Gallatin. Near side, this is Kaiser. Tries to angle one off the boards to the middle of the ice. Proctor's stretch pass is too far, and that's another icing here on Omaha with exactly 10 minutes gone, 10 minutes to go here, second period. We'll step away for this message from our sponsors.
Want to increase your brand awareness? Look no further than Soda Signs and Graphics.
Smith and Mitchell take this face-off to the left of Kaharski. Fourth line out there here for UMD. It comes to Goetz. He fired a shot that caught Bolson in a tough spot. Stung him. He'll head to the bench with the puck still in the defensive zone. Omaha controlled. He waited until one of his teammates had the puck, but he headed right to the bench after he blocked that shot from Darian Goetz, who can fire the puck for UMD. Now Rollwagon just out of his reach. Goetz watched closely by Weiss, who pushes him into the far side corner. Pops free in the circle area. Bettens had it go through his skates, and Proctor will dump it in deep for the Mavericks. Past the halfway point of the hockey game. The shot's 15-13 in favor of UMD. The score tied at 1 apiece. LeMay has it. Long shot. Blocked by the stick of Jack Smith. Whacking at it there at the far side, Milmock. Now Weiss comes away with it. A shot. Glove save by Thiessen, who saw it the whole way for UMD. 1-1 our score here on My 9 Sports.
Got a good one, 1-1, UMD and Nebraska. Omaha here in the middle of the second period. Coming up after the second period, we've got a great conversation with Zach Stacekel, one of the guys who was behind the big spark in that Movember campaign last year that got the donation amount to 5 digits. Great campaign, that Movember movement that Zach Stacekel had a lot to do with. Zach's got a great conversation coming up with him after the second period.
Yeah, thanks very much, Matt. Stacekel obviously not between the pipes tonight with Matt Thiessen getting the start. Will Francis also out of the lineup tonight for UMD. Doesn't make their story any less interesting, any less important for these Bulldogs. They both said that over this past summer was the first time in a long time that they had felt kind of normal again, both mentally and physically. Stacekel's battle with testicular cancer shorter than Francis and his battle with leukemia, but both declared cancer-free within the past year. Kaiser now, one-timer for UMD. Kaharski made the save. It's swept away now by the Omaha defense. Right before that, Isaac Howard whistled one just wide for UMD. James back on the attack, tried to snipe through the defense, and Berg knocks it away for Omaha. Bouncing puck in on Thiessen. Not sure Cameron Berg knew where that puck was. The White Bear Lake native, draft pick of the Islanders. It kind of bounced right past him. It was way up in the air, and he turned around, headed off on a line change. He might have been able to make life pretty difficult on Matt Thiessen had he been able to locate the puck. 2-on-2 battle, far side boards off the bench. Dashke holds for UMD. Got as far as ladder route. He and Mancini into the corner, taken away by UMD's goal scorer. That's Jesse Jacques. Now Gallatin. Spinorama move, try to get past Randall. In behind the net, centering pass. It comes back to Jacques, a long shot. He scores! Tipped in front. The captain, Tanner Latterroot. It's 2-1 UMD. Well, for the second time tonight, UMD just throws a puck towards the front of the net. This time it's Jesse Jacques. And bodies in front, the captain, Tanner Latterroot, his first goal of the year. And UMD has its first lead. It's 2-1. The guy who said on Wednesday afternoon UMD has to bring its lunch pail, that this would be a blue-collar series for UMD. They had to get back to doing things the right way, not just on Friday and Saturday nights, but Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, every day in preparation for the games. The captain gets a big goal for UMD, and it's not a pretty goal. None of the 3 goals tonight have been. All 3 deflections in front. Just take away the eyes of the goaltender. Get another look at this. Kind of a centering pass gone wrong for Gallatin. Comes all the way back to Jacques, who is in the right position, covering for Gallatin, and he just fires one through. Scott Sandlin said earlier this season, one of the first things he looks for is just to get those shots like the one that Jacques took past the initial layer of defense, right? You can't get it blocked by the first guy. Jacques did that, and Latterroot in front, able to tip it in. It's a 2-1 lead for UMD with 7 minutes to go here in the second period. Krenzen in a race to the far side. Dashke plays it down the boards. Now out to center ice it comes. Gallatin in a foot race. He's being chased by Matt Miller. Spins away from him, does Gallatin. His stretch pass going to be in on goal. That'll negate the icing. Pennington forced to play it here for Omaha. Proctor ahead at the UMD line. Rollwagon couldn't chase it down, and Dubinsky will retreat behind his own goal. Gives to Dashke. Jack Smith now. Comes to Spicer in the slot to shot. That was blocked. Comes back to Spicer in front and bends at a wide open net. He couldn't put it past Kaharski. It's still free, and Smith's shot missed the net. Spicer to the point. Kaiser to Smith. The shot. That was blocked in front. Dubinsky to Kaiser. Walks to the middle. Long shot. Tipped in front. And the save made by Kaharski. Bettens. Another long shot. Bodies in front. It goes to the corner. A penalty coming to Omaha. Great shift here by UMD. Kaiser still with the puck. Long shot. Stick save Kaharski. And the whistle goes. UMD will head to the power play. But oh my, what a chance missed by the UMD freshman Kyle Bettens. You don't want the young man to dwell on that, but he will see that puck in his nightmares until he gets his first one. And maybe even after that for a bit. That net was as wide open as they come, and he just put it off the heel of his stick back into the goaltender, Kaharski. What followed was a couple great chances by UMD, and they almost were able to put it in anyway. And now they go to their second power play of the game. Davis Pennington, the guilty party at the end of that scramble in the defensive zone for Omaha. Kaiser, good hold at the point. Long shot off the end boards. Howard tried to muscle it up higher in the zone. Now Kaiser in a foot race. Kaiser defends the puck, or protects the puck well there for UMD. Still being chased there by Glynn. Good penalty killing by Jimmy Glynn. Now Thiessen moves the puck ahead. This is Howard. Howard in the circle as Biondi with him. A shot and a save made by Kaharski. Good play there by Matt Thiessen. Tried to catch Omaha on a line change and did. And then Howard a 2-on-1. The lone guy back was Victor Mancini. He did enough to force Howard into a restricted shooting lane. Kaharski did the rest and made the save. 5:13 to go here, second period. 1:24 in the power play for UMD. Second unit out for the Bulldogs. Dashke to Gallatin. In front, tipped through the crease area by Lowhite. It comes to Steves, now Dashke. To Gallatin. Again, he works his way down, gives it to Steves. He fires, glove save. The rebound is covered up by Kaharski somewhere under him, and the faceoff again will be in the Nebraska-Omaha zone. We will step away for this message from our sponsors.
Mainstream Fashions for Men has you covered with new fall fashions.
4:58 to play in the period. 1:09 still to play in this Bulldogs man advantage. Much better power play so far tonight for the Bulldogs than their first opportunity, thanks in large part to that stretch pass by that guy, Matt Thiessen. Real easy for goaltenders just to lay the puck down, wait for one of their skaters to come get it. Thiessen fired the puck up. He was right on the money to Isaac Howard, created a 2-on-1 chance. Now Lowhite across the line, 45 seconds in the power play. He circles to the near side of the zone. Loney swaps places with him. Down to the corner, Steves. Again, the overlap play. Steves a shot rising on the glove side, missed the net. Gallatin holds at the far point. Loney high in the slot area, gives it to Steves in the circle. Across for Gallatin, a shot, missed the net again for UMD. Good passing that time for the Bulldogs. In the end, though, Gallatin just missed high over the crossbar. Final 15 seconds of the power play. Dashke with some speed through neutral ice. Gives it to Loney near point. To Lowhite. Has that taken away, and now a breakaway for Cameron Berg. Short-handed chance to the backhand. Save by Thiessen. Big save for Thiessen at the end of that power play. Now LeMay, a shot saved by Thiessen. Might have caught him in the mask. 2 big saves there for the UMD transfer senior goaltender. Omaha back on the attack. This is Glenn in the circle. Another save by Thiessen. Miller picks it up. Centering pass, just missed Berg, cutting through the zone. The crowd murmuring here in support of Matt Thiessen. Mueller ahead for Berg. Has it poked away at the line by Dubinsky, who gets it out to center ice with 3:15 to go here in the second period. Latterroot off the glass and out to center ice for UMD. Jacques will shoot it in. They'll tag up. Kaharski out to play it for Omaha. Gives it to Pavanka. Mancini did well to control that. Otherwise, a couple Bulldogs were ready to pounce. One of them, Isaac Howard, has the puck now. Gives it to James. Try to drop pass back for Howard. Now Biondi, a shot. Didn't get to Kaharski. Comes back to Biondi at the half boards. Now Kaiser. Try to get it in the corner and does for Biondi. Behind the goal, Mancini does well, angles it for himself, and now out to center. Bouncing puck past Dubinsky. Randall. Almost Johnny on the spot. Kaiser does well to cross over and help his defensive partner with 2.5 minutes to play here, second period. James across the line, centering pass. This is Olsen, a shot again, high of the net for UMD. Swept by a glove to the far side corner, and now out to the line by Narchuk. This shot missed the net. Rollwagon will clear to center ice. Bodnarchuk to Goetz. As things settle down a bit here. After a wild couple minutes there, comes back to Howard. Toe drag, centering pass, looking for James. It comes back to Bodnarchuk. And now at the near side, this is Howard. Really good period here. Final 90 seconds for UMD. Can they get to the locker room with a lead? It would be well-deserved. Thiessen shoots it around the dasher, out to center ice. Krenzen plays it there for Omaha. He sends it back in deep. Thiessen knocks it down. Behind the net, again, he tried to wrap it around. Watch out, almost an adventure there for UMD as Thiessen's clear attempt hit Bodnarchuk. And now Bettens at the line, had to delay, did Spicer, but now they're onside as he enters the zone. Final minute now of the second period. Bettens to Dashke. Gallatin, one-timer. Didn't get all of it. It flutters behind the net. Smith there, plays it off the back of the cage. Back to Bettens, high slot. A shot and a save by Kaharski. Penalty coming now to UMD as the puck out to center ice. Gallatin touches up, and Omaha will go to a power play with just over 48 seconds to play here in the second period. A break in the action means time to remind you that the very best in UMD gear is available right now at UMD stores. Jerseys, sweatshirts, t-shirts, caps, gifts, and much, much more. The store is open 7 days a week on campus, or you can shop online anytime, anywhere at umdstores.com. Jack Smith, the guilty party there for UMD. That penalty will drive coaches crazy. Good learning moment for the freshman perhaps, but right in front of the Omaha nets. The Mavericks were coming the other way with the puck, and he was just engaged with one of the Omaha defenders. So it's the Mavericks to their second power play of the game. A chance to tie things up here. Tyconic to the middle point. Long shot, hit the post. It comes to Weiss, now back to Tyconic. Far side, that's Randall. Tyconic, high point to Weiss. Across for Randall, disrupted. Not enough to get possession for UMD. Centering pass, that was knocked away. Weiss back to Tyconic. Long shot, tipped in front, that hit bodies, then deflects to the corner. Now Latterroot a takeaway, final 15 seconds, he'll just clear, and it's in on goal. So UMD, it appears, will escape this second period. Final 10 seconds though, time for one last rush for Omaha, poked away by Loney, and that will do it. Final 3 seconds, long shot, and Kaharski makes the stop. Some pushing and shoving behind the Omaha goal as the second period comes to a close. The Bulldogs leading it 2-1. Goals from Jesse Jacques and Tanner Latterroot, two fifth-year guys in that second period for UMD. The Super One Foods intermission report starts right after this on My 9 Sports. The Bulldogs get 2 goals in that second period. They lead the Mavericks 2-1 with 20 minutes to play here at Amsoil Arena. Right now, Luke Milmock is with our Matt Halverson.
Yeah, Zach, I just asked Luke what he thought of that last 10 minutes, and the word he said was buzzing. How about that last finish to the period there in the second?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we were buzzing. It's one of our best periods of hockey we had throughout the course of the year so far, and, you know, that's what makes us successful. And you can see there, we didn't give Omaha much except for on their power play. So if we keep playing like that, I have no doubt we'll come out with the win in this game.
Luke, earlier this week you said we have to be the initiators who need everybody driving the bus. Kind of felt like that there, especially in the second period. It's getting loud in here. But especially in the second period, I felt like everybody was driving the bus there.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, all 4 lines were going. Everyone was doing their job. Like you said, everyone was driving the bus. And, you know, we didn't get the first run of the game, but that's just that's the bounce in hockey. You can't get back. You just got to forget about it. But I think we did start the game on time, and that last period showed it as well.
You know, we've talked this season about how much the brand of hockey you guys play. When you get to play with the lead, it just feels a little bit different. It feels like you guys can settle in a little bit. You got to be on the PK here to start the third. What's the big thing to hold this lead?
You know, get the job done on the PK. I think that'll give us a lot of momentum. You know, see you guys get the job done out there, eat some pucks, get pucks down, and just keep the train rolling.
Luke, I got to ask you one more. Right now, you're the leader in the clubhouse for the Movember campaign with the mustache going on. How long have you been working on that?
Not too long. I think I clean shaved, 2 weeks into October. So, I mean, it doesn't take long for me to grow it, but a lot of guys saying I cheated, but I think everybody cheated.
Good stuff. Thanks, Luke.
Yeah, thank you.
UMD up 2-1 heading into the locker room before the third.
Yeah, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying in the Movember competition, but still a lot of time till the end of the month. We'll see who wins that hotly contested contest here in the UMD locker room. Elsewhere around Bulldog country earlier today, the UMD women's hockey team got back on the winning side, a 2-0 win over St. Cloud State. Gabby Hughes was injured in that game, though, so something to watch for the Bulldogs women. The UMD volleyball team swept Sioux Falls in the opening round of the NSIC tournament. They'll play Concordia St. Paul tomorrow. And the UMD men's basketball team started its season with a 93-74 win over Southern Arkansas. The Super One Foods intermission report continues right after this. Our conversation with UMD goaltender Zach Stayskal on My 9 Sports.
2-1 after one, UMD leading Nebraska Omaha, or after 2 rather, here at Amsoil Arena. Last season, the UMD men's hockey team raised over $10,000 as a part of their Movember campaign supporting men's health and men's cancer research. Big spark to that campaign, Zach Stayskal, the goaltender from Cohasset, Minnesota. Our own Zach Schneider sat down with him this week.
It's a story we talked about a lot last year with you, but to go through what you did from the diagnosis of testicular cancer to your treatment to returning to the ice and playing college hockey again, all in the span of a couple months, that's a lot. You've had some time now to reflect on it, look back. What was that experience like for you last year?
Pretty crazy, obviously. Looking back on it, it had happened so fast, right? In August, I was diagnosed and I was already back on the ice in, early February. So looking at that, I had a great support staff around me, and to get me back on the ice that early is pretty crazy.
You haven't shied away from even really the initial diagnosis, from being really open with your story and now being an advocate for early detection and for the proper treatment. So is that a responsibility that you feel it just comes naturally, or why the decision to be so open with your story?
Well, I think it's just important for, the health of people to just get themselves checked right away, because obviously early detection, there's a better likelihood of a better outcome. So I'm all for people going to the doctor, even if it's something they might not in the past. So.
One of your teammates, Will Francis, has had a well-documented battle with cancer as well. His was a little bit longer. It took him about 3 years, but this past summer he was able to declare himself cancer-free. how close did you two get through your journey and through his journey? It's not something that everyone can actually relate to and know the emotions and everything that you're going through. So the two of you, not that you wanted the other one to be going through it, but it had to be nice to have somebody on the team that could relate to you. Yeah,
absolutely. It's nice to have somebody in your corner, just asking questions through the whole thing, right? We both had to do chemo. His was way longer than mine, but he knew every question that I had for him, so it was good to have somebody there. And then another of your teammates, Luke Milmock, actually shaved his head last season in solidarity as you were going through the chemotherapy. I know a number of the other guys offered to do it as well, but just to have this support that you did, not just from people in the program, people at the university, but really the entire community that was following UMD hockey last year, that had to feel pretty special. Yeah, super special. I mean, Ben Pat started the Movember page last year for Men's Health, and before I got diagnosed, it was at like $500 for a couple weeks, and then after that, we raised like close to $13,000 or something like that, and it was fun to see all the businesses in the community just kind of support us and support me of what I was going through, and obviously Will too, so special.
Inside the House is brought to you by Bullion RV.
Welcome back to Amsoil Arena. Third period imminent between the Bulldogs and the Mavericks. UMD leading Omaha 2-1 as we start the third and final period of regulation here at Amsoil Arena. I'm Zach Schneider. Thanks for being with us here on Friday night. Still 1 minute and 12 seconds to start the period of power play time for Omaha. Carryover from that late penalty by Jack Smith in the second. Chance to draw even here for Omaha. 45 seconds to go in that man advantage as Berg has the puck at center ice. Knocked away by Kaiser. Latterroot battles for it there. It's taken away by Miller. And now Tyconic. All of a sudden, we're down to 35 seconds to play. Nothing in the offensive zone yet this period for Omaha. Here comes Weiss. Weaves his way in across the UMD line. Still controls as he works his way into the corner. Back to the point, Tyconic. 20 seconds in the power play. Far side, it's Weiss who collects that puck. Top of the circle, into the slot now. Stops. Back to Tyconic. A drive. Saved by Thiessen. And he falls on the puck with 11 seconds to go in that Jack Smith penalty for UMD. Looking around the league here. Denver leading North Dakota. That one in the third period. Western Michigan on top of St. Cloud State, and Colorado College got the extra point in a shootout tonight against Miami. Face-off to the left here of Thiessen. They win the face-off. Does Omaha. Mueller a quick shot, and Thiessen swallows that one up for UMD. He's been solid again so far for the Bulldogs. His counterpart, Jake Kaharski, has played pretty well for Omaha as well. 23 saves for Kaharski, 18 for Thiessen to this point. 1-goal hockey game, under 19 minutes to go in regulation. Both of them likely to be called upon again and again here in the third period. Thiessen a couple big saves after his team went up 2-1. Near the end of that second UMD power play, LeMay to the far circle. Now across for Mueller, he scores. A power play goal for Ty Mueller, and we're tied 2-2, just over a minute into this second period. Good pass across the box here from Jacob Gavin, and Mueller makes no mistake. His fourth goal of the year. It comes at the tail end of that power play for Omaha. And we are tied again, this time at 2. 1 minute and 12 seconds into the third period. So both teams have entered a period with the lead. Omaha gave its up 1 minute and 39 seconds into the second period. UMD gives its up 1 minute and 12 seconds into the third period. not the way you want to start if you come out of the locker room with a lead. That puck hits something in the UMD bench. The faceoff will be back at center ice. So you reset and get ready to go here. Momentum on the Omaha side, you would think, here early in the third period. UMD's done a good job so far. Omaha got that early one in the first period to go up 1-0. Battled back, had a great period, I thought, in the second. Maybe a few too many chances given up defensively than Scott Sandlin would like, but really the Bulldogs were aggressive. They were tough to play against. They were all the things that he asked for in that second period. Came away with a 2-1 lead after 40 minutes, and now a puck lost in the skates of Wyatt Kaiser. He tripped up Pavanka. No call coming. We play on, much to the dismay of the Omaha bench. You can hear them yelling all the way over here at the other side of the ice in the press box. The play continues. Behind the net, centering pass. Knocked away there by Dubinsky. He moves it ahead for Biondi. Now Latterroot scored the second goal tonight for UMD. Put them up at the time. Takeaway here for Biondi. Gives it to Gallatin. Works his way to the middle. A shot. Kaharski made the save. Mancini sweeps the rebound to the far corner. Olsen. Now to Dashke at the point. Long shot. That was stopped in front and cleared away now by the captain, Nolan Sullivan. That will be an icing with 17:30 to go here in period number 3. Breaking the action. Let me remind you, if you can't be at these games, Hoops Brewing in Canal Park is the next best place to be. A selection of over 20 beers means something for everyone to enjoy. Plus, they've always got the big game on the big screen. Hoops Brewing, an official watch site of UMD Hockey. Steves with it now. Far side corner, sharp angle shot. Pad saved by Kaharski. Swept away by Dashke. Now it's Sullivan. 1-on-2 as his line mates change behind him. He just flips a bouncer in on Matt Thiessen, who covers up. And we'll get a face-off coming as we step away for this message from our sponsors.
Choose Ogston's Body and Paint when your car needs repairs.
Good start to this third period for Omaha. Give them a lot of credit. Get the power play goal. Put the pressure back on UMD. And now that next goal becomes even more significant, as it so often is in the NCHC. We as broadcasters sometimes sound like broken records talking about the next goal. Who's going to get the next one? And right now, it looms large for these Bulldogs and Mavericks. Still plenty of time. The next one isn't necessarily the winner, but certainly it puts that team in the driver's seat. This is Krenzen. He flips it in just out of the reach of Dashke. Thiessen settles it down. There's the Kaiser, who will let both teams change as he holds the puck behind the goal. Directing traffic still is the UMD junior. Waiting for something to open up, and now his pass out of the reach of Smith. So all that time spent behind the goal, and then they don't go tape to tape, but they do get it in deep here. Spicer had his stick slashed out of his hands. No call coming as he continues in the fight with LeMay. Picks his stick back up. Gavin, cross ice. This is Mitchell, a shot missed on the glove side. And that puck rides the top of the glass and hits the high netting. Take a look at the NCHC standings through the first couple weekends. Denver, the leaders, defending national champions. Everybody else kind of bunched up in the middle. That picture will become much more clear, or maybe not, as the season goes on, but tough to tell as teams have played just a couple games, most teams just 2 in the league. Denver had a lot of travel complications this weekend, trying to get to Grand Forks for that much anticipated series, as always, against North Dakota. I believe the Pioneers ended up having to fly yesterday into the Twin Cities because of that blizzard making its way through North Dakota, dumping, I think, 12 to 18 inches in most parts of the state. So they flew yesterday to the Twin Cities and then bussed today to Grand Forks, I believe was the ultimate travel plan for the Pioneers. At last check, they were leading 2-1 in that game, so maybe not having so many negative effects, but a lot of travel. Grand Forks isn't the easiest place to get to on its own, let alone in the middle of a blizzard. Omaha's offside, and the face-off back here to center ice. I think these Omaha players, maybe they're not happy that Dean Blaze isn't their coach. He was a good coach, but he didn't like to fly. So when Dean Blaze was the coach of the Mavericks, that was an 8-hour bus trip up to Duluth. This weekend they got to fly. They bust the rest of the way from the cities. Howard pokes it away now. Howard on the backhand, centering pass, looking for Olsen. He got his stick slashed on the shot attempt. Proctor will go to the box for Omaha. Power play coming to UMD. Proctor didn't like it. He thought he got the stick of Olsen. Good play there by Howard. Takes the puck away right around the red line and then leads a kind of a fragmented 2-on-1 into the zone. Got a pass to Olsen, who had a lot of net to shoot at. And that's probably the determining factor on that call. Even if it's questionable, that's a grade 8 scoring chance for Quinn Olsen and UMD taken away. So Kirby Proctor goes to the box for the slash, and UMD gets its third power play of the game. The second power play much better than the first. We'll see if this unit can break through. This would be a big goal here. We're still early in the third period. Biondi controls off the draw. James tried to shoot it in deep and couldn't. Mentioned at the outset that James was fantastic last weekend in the faceoff circle. Really has been good all season. Today, not so much. He was 3 for 9 in the faceoff circle through 2 periods. So keep an eye on that. Who do you put out there to win an important draw for both these teams as the puck flipped in here on Matt Thiessen. Jake Pavanka, the leading faceoff guy, as you might expect, top line center. He's won 6 of 8 through 2 periods for Omaha. Those draws become more and more important. Puck possession, really 9/10 of the law here in the NCHC, especially on special teams. Omaha wins this faceoff, and that's going to kill some more time, although it comes right to Gallatin, who's able to clear the zone. He moves it ahead and will shoot it around to the far side. Unit 2 out there for the Bulldogs. 45 seconds already gone. Dashke, near side point. Gallatin walks in looking for a tip, and that went through the crease area. Dangerous looking play. Now Steve's a one-timer. Kaharski pad save, bounces to the far side. Loney into the end wall. Steve's with it again. Back to Dashke. Long shot. Kaharski fought that one off. Found it through a lot of traffic. Now Dashke, Gallatin across for Steves. Tried a one-timer. Just got in on him too hot. In the corner, it's Steves. 45 seconds in the power play. Dashke to Steves. One-timer. Low height the screen. And the rebound cleared by Omaha with 35 seconds to go, and the Bulldogs man advantage. Top unit back out there for the final 30 seconds. This is James at the line. It's Steves. James helps it around to the far side. Can the Bulldogs get there? Howard and Dashke combine on the hold momentarily. And that hits something in the Omaha bench. We will step aside with a break in the action. This message from our sponsors.
Want to increase your brand awareness? Look no further than Soda Signs and Graphics.
Officials deciding where the face-off's going to be. It's going to be at neutral ice, just outside the Omaha zone with 15 seconds to go here in this UMD power play. Second unit more effective than the first. But still nothing that dangerous on this power play for UMD. Kaiser had to roll off his stick, but he continues on. Takeaway from Biondi, a shot, and Kaharski made a stop. That's their best chance as we're back to 5-on-5. Now Dubinsky winds and fires. It just missed on the glove side, the far post area from Kaharski. Now flipped ahead, Berg working on Dubinsky to the middle. It's sticked away. Nice play there by Thiessen, the Bulldogs goaltender, to poke that one away. Dubinsky ahead for Jacques. He'll just flip it into the near side corner as UMD changes. 12.5 minutes to go here, third period. Howard forces that turnover. Lost it himself though. Now Olsen gives him some help. In the corner, tries to spin away from a couple Mavericks to the point. Dashke, long shot. Kaharski fought it off with the glove, couldn't handle it cleanly. They shoot it ahead for Weiss. He beats out the icing into the corner with Dashke. Weiss comes out of the battle with the puck. Forced back into the wall. Now Mancini, high slot. That hit bodies in front. Deflects to James, who's able to clear the zone for UMD. Now Olsen has Howard and Dashke with him. Couldn't find a passing lane. He just wraps it in behind the goal. James to Howard, a shot off the side of the goal. He had a small window, but it was there for the UMD freshman, the first round draft pick, Isaac Howard. Like the way he's played today, that whole line, really. And they've struggled getting that top line going. Last year it was Olsen, James, and Biondi. They moved Biondi off of it with Jacques and Latterroot. They've created a couple goals tonight, and I love so far the game of Olsen, James, and Howard together. Kaiser behind the goal for UMD. He trips up at the far side. That was Slipik. He comes away with the puck. Ahead it's Steves. Stick handles through neutral ice. His pass ahead of Lowhite. And now back the other way. This might be icing on Omaha. They're going to wave it off as Miller appeared to lose the race, but the hustle play pays off for Omaha as play continues. Slipik now at center ice as we approach the halfway point of this third period. Shots 30-22 in favor of UMD. The score tied at 2 apiece. Loney, 3-on-3s through center ice. Lowhite takes a hit from Pennington. Back to his feet. 2-on-2 battle continues. Loney will just try to chip it in deep. It's taken now by Cam Mitchell. He runs into Milmock at the blue line. Benton's off the bench, flips it in, and he'll go to work. He and Mancini into the end wall. Mancini slipped down, a penalty coming to UMD, and that's a terrible call. Victor Mancini, I'm glad he's back to his feet, but he just fell down. Kyle Bettens did not touch him at all. It's a terrible call that will send UMD to the penalty kill. Omaha power play when we come back here on My 9 Sports. All right, back to that Bettens penalty. Well, they're reviewing it, and I hope they feel pretty foolish. Because not only should it not be a major, it should not be a minor. Here's the official result. Yeah, a minor penalty for cross-checking is the end result. It'll be an Omaha power play. But boy, oh boy, if Omaha scores here, UMD has got quite the case because that is an awful call. Victor Mancini catches an edge as they go into the corner. It's an awkward spot for Mancini, I'll give you that. That one shows a little bit of contact from Bettens. But boy, I don't know about that. Big penalty to kill here for UMD. Big opportunity for Omaha to take a lead here midway point of the third period, their third power play of the game. Face off to the right of the UMD zone, controlled by the Mavericks. Out in front, to the far side, it comes back to Gavin at the far side half wall. Actually, he's got it at the point now. That's Mueller at the far side. Back to the point, Gavin. Near side, LeMay, Gavin. Mueller, top of the circle, works his way in. Gavin now. LeMay tried to go across for Mueller. Good deflection there at the top of the zone by Jacques, and Latterroot gets the clear. The 2 goal scorers for UMD tonight, also out there on the penalty kill. Get the job done for that first clear. 40 seconds gone in the Omaha power play. The crowd keeps booing. UMD knows it needs to get back to work. Like it or not, they need to kill this penalty. Gavin. Mueller, far side circle. His pass, a bit errant, comes back out to center ice. 1 minute gone, 1 minute to go, and the Mavericks man advantage. Another errant pass for Omaha. Comes right to Dashke, who gets another clear. 45 seconds to play in the power play. All out of sorts, it seems, are the Mavericks. They won that opening face-off here on the power play and had a lot of zone time. It looked like they were going to set up for a full 2 minutes in the UMD zone, and then a couple bad passes that didn't hit the tape. All of a sudden, there's 30 seconds to go. Wraps it around to the far side. Weiss. Now the top unit out there. Tyconic, middle point. Long shot, hit bodies in front, deflects to the corner. Comes back to the point, held by Weiss. To Tyconic. In the circle, a one-timer. They score on the rebound. Jack Randall, a power play goal for Omaha. They cash in, and it's 3-2 Mavericks. The nation's leading goal scorer gets his 12th of the year, the second power play goal of the period for Omaha. And the Mavericks cash in. Like the call or not, you still got to play the game, and the Mavericks had an opportunity. They take advantage. Randall's 12th of the year, and the Bulldogs, for the second time tonight, trail by a goal with 8.5 minutes to play here in the third period. Can the Bulldogs get back and put some energy back into the building? The call, the review, now the power play goal seems to have sapped everything from Amsoil Arena right now. And the Bulldogs are in need of a goal with just over 8 minutes to play. Faceoff will be to the right of Matt Thiessen. Kaiser controls here for the Bulldogs behind his own goal. And the Bulldogs bounce back here after giving up a 1-goal lead they had to start this period. Now it's a 1-goal deficit. Maloney comes through neutral ice, pitchforks it in, it's on goal. Kaharski had a bit of trouble with it, and he'll swallow it up. We'll take a break. Jack Randall's power play goal has the Mavericks up 3-2 here on My 9 Sports.
It's time for the My 9 Sports Bulldog Fan of the Week. This week's fan is Jamie. For your chance to be Fan of the Week, post your photos on the My 9 Sports Facebook page or email them to my9sports@kbjr6.com. The My 9 Sports Bulldog Fan of the Week is brought to you by the Duluth Tap Exchange and the Tap On Tower.
Thanks very much, Matt Halverson. Face off in the Omaha zone here. Just under 8 minutes to play here, third period. Back to the point, Gallatin walks in, a shot that missed on the stick side of Kaharski. Glynn slaps at it there. Fairly sure that goal will be changed to Matt Miller, the junior for Omaha. Be his second of the year. I think it was 27 that got a stick to it after that rebound on the power play for Omaha instead of 28. Didn't hear what they announced here at the arena. Maybe it never belonged to Jack Randall, but if it did, I'm fairly sure, looking at the replays, it'll be changed to Matt Miller's goal, which right now would be the game winner. He had 5 game winners for Omaha last season. 5 of his 10 goals that he scored were game winners. Still 7 minutes to change that for UMD. Tipped into the zone by Olsen. Mancini back to get it for Omaha. He takes a hit. No call coming, much to the delight of the Amsoil Arena crowd. Comes back to the point. Dubinsky, long shot, blockered away by Kaharski. Kaiser. Watched by Miller, top of the zone. Kaiser to the middle, and another save, and he runs right over Kaharski. No penalty coming there. Slow to his feet is the Omaha goaltender. Still down is Kaharski. Olsen, a shot, he scores. Whistles are gonna go, and this is gonna lead to a lot of pushing and shoving. And what do you want Quinn Olsen to do? What a train wreck in this third period by this officiating crew. They created all of this. Not only the bad call on Kyle Bettens earlier, but now you don't call a penalty on Wyatt Kaiser, who clearly ran over Jake Kaharski. You allow the play to continue, and then Quinn Olsen fires a shot in the net from the blue line that you're not going to count as a goal. An absolute clown show here in the third period, to be quite honest. It shouldn't be a penalty on UMD. It should, quite frankly, be a goal for the Bulldogs because the whistle hadn't gone. But now Quinn Olsen and Matt Miller are in the box for that pushing and shoving match at the end of that. See if we can roll the replay back all the way to the Wyatt Kaiser chance at the front of the net where he hit Jake Kaharski. Let's see if we can get our replay all the way back to that and just let it roll to show you the initial contact, which I thought was a penalty. I think this is absolutely a penalty on Wyatt Kaiser to start this whole fracas. Here he comes at the far side. He makes a great move to the middle. Rather, this is the end of it. That's the shot from Quinn Olsen. And the whistle hadn't gone yet until the puck is in the net. So now you're going to get penalties of that. Let's roll it all the way back, guys, to where Kaiser makes initial contact with Kaharski, because I want to show the people at home that. Here it is. Kaiser goes to the front of the net. That's a penalty on Wyatt Kaiser. That is interference on Wyatt Kaiser. They don't blow the whistle there. They don't blow the whistle here. Kaharski still hasn't gotten back to his feet.
15 Duluth, 2 minutes roughing. The play is under review.
And then they allow the play to continue, and Quinn Olsen fires it as he should because the net is open. Kaharski's down, and it goes in. Now they're going to review it. Here's the play. Let it roll in its entirety. There's the initial contact in Kaiser. The puck comes out to neutral ice. Let it keep rolling here, guys, because then the puck works its way to the far side. Still no whistle. Olsen gets his head up. See, everybody's still playing. There's the whistle, that left side official, as the puck goes in the net. If they're going to say that the initial penalty wasn't called against Wyatt Kaiser and they can't go back, I suppose they could and go back and call a major if they think it's head contact or a major penalty for interference. I don't think it rose to that level. I think it's a minor penalty on Wyatt Kaiser. They can't go back and call that during this review process. That's what they have to be looking at, though, or they're looking at whether or not this goal should count for UMD. I think based on that look, what they were looking at, I think they're looking at the Kaiser contact with the goaltender. And this place will riot, perhaps rightfully so, if they go back and call a major at this point on Wyatt Kaiser. Let's get the verdict from the officials.
After review of the play, number 5, Minnesota Duluth has a 5-minute major.
What an absolute travesty in this third period. A 5-minute major to Wyatt Kaiser has been issued for goaltender interference. And UMD will be killing a 4-on-3 power play, actually, for the next 2 minutes, as Olsen and Miller got roughing minors at the end of that. You cannot convince me that that is a major penalty on Wyatt Kaiser. It's a penalty, and you should have called it from the beginning because you would have avoided all of the extracurriculars. You would have avoided Quinn Olson shooting in the empty net. You would have avoided the pushing and shoving afterward. But now, UMD without its top defenseman for the next 5 minutes, down a goal with 6.5 minutes to play in the third period, down one of its top forwards for the next 2 minutes. They have made an absolute mess of this third period, and UMD is in a heck of a spot right now. It's 5-on-4 will skate. They'll actually take the Olsen and Miller penalties off the board. So 5-on-4 the power play for 5 minutes. Omaha leading by a goal. All right, here we go. Back to the hockey. Face off to the right of Matt Thiessen. It's controlled by Omaha. Tyconic had his pass deflected, an early clear by Lowhite for UMD. Long pass ahead. This is Weiss, a shot saved by the mask of Thiessen. It comes to Loney. He gives it ahead for Lowhite. UMD might have to be willing to take some chances here on the 5-on-4. If they kill that, they'll only have 90 seconds left in regulation to get the equalizer. Dashke a clear here for the Bulldogs. Certainly have to pick your spots, but if they get a chance to go shorthanded, they got to go. 5:45 in the game, 4:15 in the power play. Weiss again, a shot save made by Thiessen. And we will step away for this message from our sponsors.
Mainstream Fashions for Men has you covered with new fall fashions.
You never like to talk about officiating more than you do the hockey game, but in this third period, it's really hard not to. The Benton's call is unquestionably awful. The Kaiser major, I still think is a bad call to make it a major. But I think that's better than the Benton's call, if that makes sense. Tipped in front here by Omaha. Minute gone here on the major penalty to Kaiser, cleared by Jesse Jacques for UMD. And Latterroot, here's one of those chances. He's in on the net, a wraparound chance. Latterroot gets it back in front. A Latterroot again, and Kaharski makes the save. Almost a heroic effort by the UMD captain, but Jake Kaharski scrambles back just in time for the Omaha Mavericks. What an individual effort that was from Tanner Latterroot. He picks the pocket of Kaharski, just can't quite turn enough to get the wraparound, then a couple whacks at it, both stopped by Kaharski for Omaha. Oh, this place would have gone wild if Latterroot had scored shorthanded there. Just over 5 minutes in the game. Just under 4 minutes in the major penalty. Dogs down by a goal. Offensive zone face-off here, controlled by Loney behind the goal. It's collected and controlled now by Johnny Tyconic. 5 minutes to go in the period. Nice move there by Randall. A shot save made by Thiessen. The rebound clear to the back wall. Tyconic to Weiss, top of the circle. His pass was behind Slipik. They wrap it around the boards, back for Weiss. Slipik behind the goal. Weiss to the point, Tyconic. Goal here would be a dagger for Omaha. There's a block shot for Dashke. He controls out to the point, Tyconic holds. Weiss in the circle, a shot. That's blocked by Dubinsky. He can't clear. Slipik gives way now. This is Randall. Long shift here for the UMD defenders. Tyconic to Weiss. Back to Tyconic. One-timer, a shot missed on the glove side. The rebound. Broken stick there for Daschke. It comes off the wall. Fortunate bounce for UMD. 4 minutes in the period, 2.5 minutes in the major penalty. Again, if UMD kills it and nobody scores, power play or shorthanded, they'll have about 90 seconds to maybe get an equalizer. But maybe it's coming earlier. Lohheit tried to get it to James on the drop pass. Lohheit fights for it there to the middle, and that was poked away from James, who was cutting to the net. The Bulldogs trying to take their chances here shorthanded. Created a couple interesting opportunities. 2 minutes to go in the power play for the Mavericks. A goal here almost surely ends things on Friday night. Latterroot couldn't force the takeaway at the Omaha line. Now it's Gavin. To the point, Pavanka. LeMay, far side across the box. Pavanka couldn't handle it cleanly. He's pressured now by Gallatin. 90 seconds in the power play. 3 minutes in the game. Goats trying to dig at it there for UMD in the corner. Comes behind the net. Bolson back to the point. Gavin, long shot. Hit bodies in front. Bolson in the corner. Mueller, his pass to the point. Deflected by James, who heads to the bench. The other problem is you're going to have a lot of exhausted players in that final 90 seconds if you're UMD looking for the even strength equalizer. They've almost got to that point, final minute of the major power play. Pennington for Mancini. It's poked to the far side, Sullivan. 45 seconds in the Mavericks power play, then Kaiser will be back. Pennington. Far side circle, a shot off the end wall. It deflects out in front. Swept away by the UMD defense. Final 30 seconds to the man advantage. 2 minutes to go in this third period. Ahead for Glenn in the circle. Centering pass, that was knocked away. Jocks picks it up for the Bulldogs. 1-on-3, he comes through neutral. Trying to move to the middle. And Mancini, good help defense there. Final 15 seconds, they'll get Kaiser back. Start keeping an eye on Matt Thiessen. We'll tell you when he heads to the bench. Pennington circles back, and we're going to be back to 5-on-5. Step one done. They've killed the 5-minute major. Now 90 seconds to find an equalizer for UMD. Randall tried to move to the middle, taken away by Jacques. Kaiser's got the puck. Thiessen motioning toward the bench. Stays put for now. Now Jacques right down the middle. Kaharski makes a save. Kaiser to Gallatin. Thiessen to the bench, 6-on-5. Kaiser's pass to the middle, that was knocked away. Proctor wraps it around, it's held at the far side by Gallatin. In the corner, it's Jacques. Howard out there. At the half wall, a bouncing puck. He and Jacques can't corral it. It comes out to the middle, held by James to the front. And Kaharski makes a shoulder save with 50 seconds to go here in the third period. I'm sure that Scott Sandlin will use his timeout at this point to give some of his guys a rest. Couple great chances for UMD actually on that penalty kill. And then as they got back to 5-on-5, a couple more, 50 seconds, a 6-on-5 to come. With a break in the action as the teams talk about this, we've got time to remind you with the holidays fast approaching, if you need a great gift idea for your favorite Bulldogs fan, UMD Stores has got you covered. All the very best brands to show off your Bulldog pride, or UMD Stores gift cards are always the right size. The store is open 7 days a week on campus, or you can shop online anytime, anywhere at umdstores.com. Lots to recap here in the third period. Ty Mueller and Matt Miller scored power play goals early on for Omaha as they took a 3-2 lead. Then with 6.5 minutes to go, Wyatt Kaiser in a bizarre sequence ended up with a 5-minute major for goaltender interference. UMD has killed that off, back to even strength. And offensive zone faceoff coming with Matt Thiessen to the bench. 6-on-5 for 50 seconds here for UMD.
All right, what do you think of the 1, 2, or 3? It's number 1. If you guys want your correct, it's the player.
Face-off will be to the left of Kaharski. Can UMD find an equalizer? It would really be poetic justice. James will draw against Mueller. Howard controls the puck for the Bulldogs in the corner towards the middle. Comes to Biondi. Long shot. It was tipped in front and wide. James to Olsen. Back to James. 35 seconds to go. Kaiser to James. Far circle. A shot. Saved by Kaharski. Rebound free to the far corner. Back to James. 30 seconds to go. Kaiser. Long shot. On the rebound on the far side. A couple whacks at it for Olsen. And it goes to the end wall. Now it's Biondi to the net. Behind the net, it's Howard. 15 seconds to play. Kaiser, top of the point. One-timer. James missed the net, and it caroms out to center ice. That will pretty much do it. Couple good looks for UMD, but it's Omaha, a 3-2 win here on Friday night at Amsoil Arena. Give the Mavericks credit. 2 power play goals in the third period, but boy, I'd love to hear an explanation for that one. 3-2 the final. The Mavericks beat the Bulldogs here on Friday night. Bring you back to wrap things up here from Amsoil Arena on My 9 Sports. 3-2 the final score here at Amsoil Arena. Omaha knocks off UMD here in the series opener of this NCHC weekend series. Quite an eventful third period there. The Mavericks get 2 early power play goals. That carries them to that 3-2 victory. Lots will be talked about tonight into tomorrow about what happened in that third period, and I don't disagree, it should, but don't let that cloud what was a much better effort, I thought, tonight for UMD, certainly than last Friday night on the road against Colorado College. That's more the style, that's more the character with which UMD wants to play. They were hard to play against. They went to the tough areas, a little bit unlucky, and yes, I think bad officiating did play into it, but you have to play through those things. Those things can happen, and give all the credit, as I said, to Nebraska Omaha. They took advantage of those opportunities in the third period. 2 power play goals. Matt Miller, I believe, will get credit for what is the eventual game winner tonight for the Mavericks. I mentioned he had 10 goals last season for the Mavs. 5 of those were game winners, so that guy has a knack for ending games, scoring goals that will win games for Omaha. So on to tomorrow night for UMD. I think they got great goaltending tonight out of Matt Thiessen. I think they got better play from start to finish from their defensive core, their forwards. Their forecheck, I thought, at times was relentless. They attacked in waves. It looked more like a Scott Sandlin team tonight than maybe at any point it has throughout this season. They were pretty good last Saturday out in Colorado. They played more UMD style hockey that night en route to that 3-1 win tonight. I thought another step in the right direction, and certainly that third period did not go the way that you want it to, but Matt Thiessen had a great night. Here you see a save he makes on a shorthanded breakaway in that second period. At that point it was 2-1, and then maybe a couple unlucky penalty calls. Omaha takes advantage in that third period. What are you going to do? You got to move on to Saturday night and try to salvage 3 points out of this home series against the Mavericks. We'll have that series finale for you tomorrow night, 6 o'clock, an hour earlier than tonight here between the Bulldogs and the Mavericks, so we hope you can join us then. Looking ahead at the rest of our upcoming My 9 Sports schedule here in a couple weeks. Well, actually, next week we're back in this rink for the UMD women's hockey team as they take on Harvard. And then in a couple weeks, another doubleheader for us as the men will be back against Colorado College, the women taking on defending national champions Ohio State. We will not have the Friday game of that UMD Ohio State series, worth noting. That will be on Big Ten Network, and then we'll have the Saturday finale between the Buckeyes and the Bulldogs. So Mark your calendars coming up. Lots of hockey left to be played for the men's and the women's team here at Amsoil Arena. With that, we will say good night. Thank you so much to everybody watching. Thank you to our 2 corporate sponsors, Essentia Health and Kohler Chevrolet Buick GMC, for their continued support of our broadcast all season long. And thank you to our veterans. Veterans Day today, Military Appreciation Night here at Amsoil Arena. To all of you who have served, are serving, have a loved one who was in the armed forces, thank you so much. It is your day today and should be every day. So thank you to all of you who are watching as well. 3-2, the Mavericks knock off the Bulldogs here on Friday night. We'll see you tomorrow. Until then, be well, everybody.